Ach, up, ach, up, ach. Good morning. My name is Chris Fox, and today we're talking motivation. How would you spend your time if you were rich, if you had an infinite amount of money? And, before we get into the video, you'll notice this is a new environment and probably a little bit different sound quality. I'm still dialing things in at the new place. As you can see, it's a work in progress. I've gotten a lot of stuff set up, but this was a huge move for Lisa and I. 7 trips to the dump, 2 trips to Goodwill, but most of the work is done. We're getting unpacked and settled in, and so hopefully, as you watch the next couple of videos, you'll see the surroundings transform. Enough about me. So the topic of the video, what would you do with your time if you were rich? Now, this is a much, much harder exercise than I ever expected it would be, and it is something that I recommend starting even if you are trapped in a dreary day job. And it's a fun little 5-minute exercise. So let's say, on a lark, you buy a lottery ticket and you get $43 million and it shows up in your account tomorrow. You have that money. It's available to you. You've seen it. It's not a trick. You have the money. How does your life change? So for most of us, and at most points in my life, I would start with a revenge fantasy where I would, go in there and tell my boss to screw off and quit my job. Then you'd think about, okay, I'm going to pay off all my debt and I'm going to buy houses and do all that. And that's fun. And I enjoy that stuff. And I think that's the worthwhile part of the exercise. But then you're going to get to a point where all of that stuff's done. You've given your family money, you've bought your house, you've done the things you want to do. What does your life look like tomorrow? The day after, the day after. You wake up every day, you don't have to go to a job anymore. No one can tell you where to go. What do you do with your time? How do you spend your life? And this, to me, is how we find our purpose. Because what we actually want to spend time doing and where we want to focus our energy is really what we're meant to be doing, the stuff that's going to, I guess, resonate the best with us. And I know that it's tempting because your initial answer is going to be, or at least in my case, I would like to spend, the next 2 years playing video games and getting high. Because you could spend, time just sort of decadently tending to your own needs in a way you've never been able to do in your life before. And so I think most of us would go through one of those phases, and that's fine. Do that. Think about how fun it would be to play all these video games and be rich. Now, let's say you do that for a year. Now what? What are you going to do when you're bored with all the partying? Your friends can't play with you because they all have jobs unless you, give them a bunch of money. And then you're just basically giving them the same problem where, the vast majority of people in your life wouldn't be able to spend time with you because they have jobs and responsibilities. So we're back to the crux of it, which is that you need to find what you would do on a daily basis if you were rich. What would you do with your time? How would you spend it? So in my case, I kind of live that lifestyle now, and I have for the last several years because once I went full-time as an author, I sort of built that, even though I'm not rich. I'm trying to get there. What I did is I started looking at what matters to me. I want to go hiking. I want to spend time with my family. I want to write the books I want to write and tell the stories I want to tell. And so I spend my time, working out or thinking or, with my family or writing books, or I am pursuing the things that I want to do. So if you aren't sure what's really important in life and you're not sure what your purpose is or what direction you really want to go, maybe do some of that introspective searching where you're looking at what would I do if there were no obstacles? Because it can be really revealing, and maybe the answers aren't what you think they are. Anyway, I'd be curious, to hear in the comments, what would you do if you were rich? And maybe 43 billion is not enough. So let's say 43 billion. I mean, like crazy money, where you're just never going to run out of money. What would you do? Tell me in the comments, and it can be whatever crazy part of it you would like to tell us. But ultimately, I'm curious how it would affect your career as an author. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. I do desperately need to get back to the writing. I have about 2 weeks to write Eradicator, which is book 5 in the Magitech Legacy series. And then I need to get cracking on the Player's Handbook for the role-playing game. Anyway, I am going to get back to the writing, and I will see you guys next week.